Oh, please, don't make me do it again.
Welcome in, everybody.
They heard me say that, Chris.
They did. That was the point. Don't
Why
make
would
me
you do that to me?
A, it's funny. B, they didn't hear anything. And C, welcome in, everybody. Today we're learning the alphabet with Jason. HBDC craze. Now, yeah, we're here.
He did not put googly eyes on my camera.
Did you really want that?
I don't know how I could have been more succinct.
There's
We actually have a bag of googly eyes.
Perfect size thing right here.
We have a bag of googly eyes. Someplace in here.
That's the first time I've ever heard that. Like, spoken out loud to me as an adult man. We have a bag of googly eyes in here. We got one, I swear to God.
I mean, if there was an office in the world that has a bag of googly eyes, Chris.
Oh, we got them.
This is it.
Tadpole Jackson, Sugar Rush, Captain
I feel like
Schmo.
this is it. Sup, Fuse? Oh, wait, that's me. Sup, Tim?
I heard this place was here, the Tones Majestic. I don't know what you're talking about, Papa Chicken.
Chris, the Majestic and Magnificent. What? Hey, Chris?
Yeah.
What does it sound like when you pop a chicken? That's a duck. That's DJ Duck.
DJ Duck. He's in the pond today.
Sup, nerds?
Welcome in, everybody. That was
Sugar
Chris.
Rush says I hear everything except what I don't. So I'm sort of deaf in my left ear.
What?
And that was not lost on me. So I'm sort of deaf in my left ear. I don't know. Doctors have said everything from 50 to 80%. So it can be good or it can be bad. But it's never great. And today it was really funny because we had our monthly staff meeting.
Yeah.
And it gets loud in the lunch room, the common staff area. It's a big room, but it has a lot of echoey stuff.
Yeah.
And so when you have 30 plus people in there all chattering at the same time, having fun, eating lunch, we bought sandwiches and pasta for everybody. And everybody's talking. And Ellie is sitting next to our HR director, is sitting off to my left. And she's yapping at me. And I'm just talking to other people. And I turn over and I'm looking at her and she's just grinning at me. And I'm like, what? And she's like, oh, I just asked you a whole bunch of stuff. And I go, oh, well, that's my deaf ear.
Yeah,
and
get on the other side. Get on the other side.
If you have important things, you need to be on this side.
Oh, my gosh. Hey, what are you going to do? Nothing. Hello, all. What are we percolating today? M3 Stout, we are doing, and by doing, I mean painting. And by painting, I mean Jason. And by Jason, I mean all of us are painting up some blood angels. Isn't that right, Jason?
You see how this works, chat?
That's what the title of the
this paid professional is. Just yibber jabbers.
Yibber?
Yibber jabbers.
Okay.
I was going to say yip yaps, but it came out as jibber jabber yip yaps. You yibber yabber.
Game Master GIF has found the way, apparently.
Dame deaf to the frequency of my wife's voice. Jen is deaf to the frequency of my voice. I don't know how she does it.
We the people. That's right, Lumberjack.
True Gunpla, what's going on? Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tuesday.
Weed Ann, what's up?
You paid for the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge.
That's right. And hey, speaking of the edge.
Welcome, everybody.
Yes, tomorrow we're going to be going.
I got duped.
We're going over the September challenges tomorrow, so get ready. Tomorrow's going to be a fun day. We're doing it on October 1st. And then I will be posting the challenge tonight. Wow, Jason is on cloud 7. I random punched that one.
You just did it blind.
That was
I spit on my workplace because that was so funny.
I spit on my workplace.
I spit upon your workplace.
Brent says, "Hi all. I too have a bag of googly eyes I bought specifically for my Vortex mixer.
See?
I believe a lot of people have done that, and
you
that's
also
cool.
Partake in the googly eyes.
It's unfortunate you have to buy 1,000 of them to make a difference, or to buy them, I should say." You can never buy just 2 googly eyes unless they're the massive 1
You
foot.
can. You get the big ones.
Yeah, the 1 foot by 1
They're
foot
like pie
ones.
plates. I don't know what they go on. Your house?
Your car, you could put those
your
googly
car.
eyes everywhere.
Yeah, like your car hood.
Sugar
they
Rush,
lick
my
and
sister
stick?
thinks it's funny that our kids can't annoy me and annoys them. Hey, that sounds like you've made it. Wad, welcome in, Wad. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Jason, what are we doing today?
I have no clue what we're doing.
What?
Oh,
You do.
like right now or in like the next step?
Yes.
Because in the next precious moments of our lives, I am going to be painting.
Now, are you going to do the trim silver or gold on these guys?
Yes.
Because these are your fancy unit.
Yes.
Oh. I don't know about that one.
What?
Nothing.
What's the matter?
Don't clip that.
What happened?
I said, what are you going to do to your fancy unit?
Oh, that's the kind of stuff we talk about in public.
Anyway.
Welcome, everybody.
Ready to start painting my Xenomorph, says Earl Dunk tomorrow. Spent a few hours sanding and filing, sitting with so many pics to look at now. I got to decide what colors for Xenomorphs. What is a Xenomorph?
It's a alien.
It's the Tyranids, right? I
It's
believe
the alien from Aliens.
it is.
Yeah. So it's called
Xenomorph?
Xenomorph.
Okay. Dumbris, what's going on? S. Chambies, welcome in, everybody. We're just watching Jason watch his model as he contemplates.
So I have to contemplate
That's
what
right.
my trim is going to look like, and where I want to use more like black on some of these guys. And so I'm thinking like, so this is my Praetorian Guard, right? That's
Yeah.
what this unit is called, is the Praetorian Guard.
Bretonian Guard.
Praetorian Guard. Thanks
Got
for trying, Chris.
Praetorian Guard.
Oh boy.
Okay. So you're thinking black trim.
Well, I don't know. I want to do some black on them. I think that the helmets in gold is still a great idea.
Yep.
And then we could do like the shoulders and the backpacks in black, like the jump packs.
That would be cool.
Or I could just do the shoulders in black and then gold helmets. I don't know, man.
Papa Chicken says,
Hey, Chris.
Yes, sir.
What does it sound like when you pop a chicken? Okay, that's the best answer he's had in a while.
Maybe. I got options. Has Jason considered following your pink to plaid tutorial for the trim on these minis? No.
I did for about 5 seconds.
I said no, and he said yes, so.
I did for about 5 seconds.
And
then I
turned it
realized
off.
that would be the worst thing I have ever chosen to do in the history of my life.
He turned it off in pure disgust.
Purely disgusted.
Oh, man. Earl Dunk, looking and contemplating is my specialty. I'm probably spend too much time looking and contemplating. Ooh, Earl Dunk with some center field truth, man. Woo.
Center field truth.
Yeah,
Please
dude.
explain.
I don't know. I'm just wordsmithing over here.
Please explain, Christopher.
Earl Dunk has never been more eloquent in his entire life, or hers. I don't know, Earl Dunk, if you're a man or a woman, but I do like that statement. Put paint on the model. That's what I always say. Isn't that right, Jason?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you think...
All right, I'm painting some black. I'm just going to black some things out, and we're
Okay.
just going to start there, because what I don't want to do at this point is spend a lot of time highlighting red that isn't going to be red.
Right.
So I'm just going to start painting some black. That'll kind of define a little bit of what I got going on here. So coal black, friends.
You're
Coal black.
You're just going straight coal black.
Dude, straight up coal black.
Oh, wow.
We're just doing it, dude.
Okay.
I'm just doing it.
That's fine.
We're just going to make it work. That's the story here.
N3 Stout just said, I just got my last of my paints just delivered. Almost full paint line. Just need the 3 primers delivered on Friday.
Who in their right mind thinks that's enough water in a water cup?
That's me.
Oh, boy.
Oh, you don't like that much water.
Oh, boy. That's
Really?
not near enough water, Christopher.
Oh, not near enough. I'm always thinking about Jordan, how he just gets in there and is like,
Well, Jordan throws paint all over the place.
Chat, I wish you could see the monitor I am looking at now.
Oh, it's a disaster.
Because it took me...
The desk over here by the paint cup is a disaster, too. Most of that is Jordan.
It took me so long to clean this monitor to this level. I wish you were there for the process. Who is Cole Black? Oh, Cole Black, nice guy.
Could be better.
Lays really well on your models.
Whoa!
Oh, well,
Whoa!
that means 3 things.
Whoa.
Blood Walrus, Tadpole Jackson, Wad, Michael Holtz. John says, I'm at the terrifying point of having spent an hour airbrushing transparents over metallics. Now for the gloss varnish so I can finally know if it looks any good.
It's going to look great.
You can't go wrong with our paints, John. Doesn't even matter. Can't go wrong with our paints. Can't go wrong with your painting. It's all a part of the plan.
Unless you're Chris.
Me? That's what I'm here for, though. I do the testing so you don't have to, chat.
You've said that quite a bit, actually.
It's kind of the balance, the yin and yang that I bring, right?
The yin and yang that you bring.
Yes, Jason is that side, and I'm the other side.
I have no idea what he's talking about.
I don't know where I'm going with this.
I don't know where he's going with that.
I like practicing and testing and all of that mumbo jumbo.
For science!
I do it for science. I do for science. Happy Tuesday. Welcome in Wargaming Wanderlust. First time chat. We are doing very well.
Welcome, everybody. Hope your Tuesday has kicked off well. Your whole week has started off on the right foot, I hope.
Me too.
Yesterday, I went through and we did all of the red armor basing on our Blood Angels Champions and Praetorian Guard, which is the retinue for our Praetor. So we've got some good stuffs happening here. And today, I'm just trying to figure out how to bring some differentiation to them over normal units. I haven't done black shoulders on any other units, so I think that's what we're going to do here. Well, I don't think that's obviously what we're doing now.
You're doing.
It's no longer thinking about it. It is now acting on the impulse.
Romeo G, thank you for that sub. Afternoon to you. Dunbar says, I'm working on my entry for my OSL challenge, but I think my picture skills suck. Is there any video giving advice on taking pictures? We don't have one in particular.
There are some good ones out there.
Yeah.
Less videos and more PDFs that do like step-by-steps. I sent Chris a really good one a long time ago.
Yes, Ready Sent Magenta that's the one. I took a lot of notes from that. Check him out. He does a great PDF on that. Definitely a 3-point light system. A lot of light that fills in the shadows so that we see the shadows you painted. No, not just direct top light. Otherwise, your whole model gets shadowed and we don't get to see all your work.
Yeah, remember that's really the key. You want to make sure that you have a good amount of light that lets all of the work that you've done on the model show through. And that's tough sometimes. That's usually the toughest thing.
Papa Chicken says,
Christopher.
Yes, sir.
What sound does it make when you pop a chicken? Wow.
Ooh.
I don't know about that.
Dinner's ready.
Yeah, maybe. That could be it. Okay. I see where you're going there.
Says, Jason, do you ever wonder if Chris has secretly achieved nirvana and we just can't understand half the things he says because we're so far below his level? I'm just
about 100% of the time, actually.
I'm just so glad someone said it, you know?
Yeah, about 100% of the time. That's the way I feel. Exactly.
I don't know.
Sums it up beautifully.
I don't think the thing I've reached would be called nirvana. I've reached something though. We're somewhere up there.
I'm just gonna paint this section of the jump pack black.
For a second, I thought you were gonna say, "I'm just gonna paint this model now."
That too.
Oh no. John says, "Well, I've already messed it up. Drop my airbrush nozzle somewhere. I blame Chris."
I also blame Chris a lot for things like that.
I will admit when I have done wrong, John. I will not take credit for your nozzle losings, though. I did lose a nozzle here in the studio and did buy a replacement years ago.
That is true.
It took me a while to find just those little magnetic nozzles because I was so new to this whole thing. I'm like, I bumped it and lost it. That's when I was changing the stream.
I felt so bad.
Wargaming.
Chris, you don't have to buy another nozzle.
I'm responsible. I will own up. Wargaming Wanderlust says, do you, Monument Hobbies, plan on releasing a contrast/speed paint set in the future?
Never say never. It is not a type of painting that I do a lot of.
Mm-hmm.
And we kind of have a deal around here that until we can make a particular product something that I will use, we don't manufacture it. And the reason for that is that we feel so strongly about everything that we manufacture that we would use it, show you the benefits, show you how it works for you, and, but that's why I say never say never. We may or may not be working on something that could be life-changing.
Life-changing?
Life-changing.
I don't even know. You know what? You want to talk about Nirvana. Who knows, chat? Who knows?
Kind of liking that.
How have the Expert acrylics been doing? I know it was kind of a launch and a test product. As a test product. No, it was fully tested.
No, it wasn't a test product. It was a launch. Mm-hmm. It's done very well. I have determined what the next 6 colors are.
Ooh, okay.
Which I'm not going to tell anybody, but, I've done that as of this last week. So that's all done. I'll have samples of those to show off on the stream here pretty soon.
Yep.
That'll be all that we're doing right now is the 22 colors.
Romeo G says, I added Noosh to my Pro Acryl and it works just like a speed paint for me.
It can. The glaze wash medium would be better for that, but Noosh will do it as well. Just remember that Noosh has a very long open time and might be very difficult for you to get to stay where you put it if you paint over it very quickly.
The Silver Shield, this is a good question for Jason. Don't you kind of already have a contrast/speed paints if you have transparents, or is it a medium thing as well?
Yeah, you need a medium because the transparents are just paint. They're just see-through paint, if you think about it that way. Very, very vibrant, high-end pigment, but it's just acrylic. It goes where you put it. It doesn't on its own. None of the transparents will act like a speed paint. You have to put a medium in them. Now, our glaze wash medium does exactly that you're speaking about. So, yes, we technically already have that in that sense. But a lot of people just want it straight out of the jar, right? They want, and I get it. I don't want to have to, just mix, especially if what we're talking about is, speed paint for like a beginner standpoint, ease of use, then having somebody mix a particular ratio of a medium to a paint is not the way to do that. And we understand that. We're not trying to sell the glaze wash medium. For people that want that type of glaze, like instant kind of color, then the glaze wash medium works fantastic for creating that. So, I definitely wouldn't say that what we have, while it works, is not built for why speed paint exists.
I see what you're saying.
Which is to benefit newer painters who are not as comfortable with mixing, not as comfortable with painting in general. They want to have a lot of the steps happen at once. And that's completely reasonable.
John says, use my new wash/glaze with burnt sienna and unlocked my basing problem. Super duper happy. Nice.
I love it.
Oh, this is a tough one. This is a tough one. This is probably one of the toughest questions Jason has ever received.
Oh, God. I don't
NKH, what is your favorite flavor of PA paint?
I am not allowed to answer this. It's a funny thing. I just got off an attorney meeting today where the attorneys were like, okay, in closing, we just want to make sure you haven't told anybody about flavored paint here recently, have you?
What?
To which I answered, I have been instructed by my counsel to plead the fifth. And, of course, they said, we are your counsel. We have not had that conversation. Please answer the question. And I said, I will not. I won't dance. It got really hairy, scary for a minute. I ran off. I closed the meeting real quick. So between you and me, it's definitely Bright Jade.
Oh, Jason, if you had to pick a favorite color, though, what would it be?
I don't have one of those, and I'm not allowed to speak to that.
I love that that our lawyers out there in the beautiful world of law have to say these things to us. There's something about getting really serious business, fun people to get to say some things that are wild sometimes. Like, yes, one of my clients, they paint little men on line. So, yeah, it's pretty cool.
Well, our attorney, Scott, he actually knows what we do.
Right.
And paints and, plays these games with his kids.
Scott, we got to get you in here.
So
I want a Q&A of Scott over there of saying all the things we can and cannot do.
When we mentioned to him at the very beginning, he's like, I looked at your stuff. And he goes, and my son and I play Warhammer.
That's dope.
And he got all nerdy, so it was great. So, yeah, I love talking to him. He does not tell me anything about eating paint, though. He probably would. If
you like the legal part that we had to say right there? He does not. Now, let me rephrase this. We don't talk about eating paint at all. There's a reason for that. Spaznat, my favorite color, let's see. What mini am I currently painting?
Right.
Yep.
That's the way I feel about it, is my favorite color is the one I'm using right now.
But if you had to pick one.
I don't have to pick one.
If you were stranded on an island and you had to bring one paint with you, well,
the good thing is that I always take my go bag, and I would have at minimum 96 colors.
Wow. Okay. I like that. So if you were stranded on an island, you'd take the go bag.
I mean, yes. What are you talking about? I tell everybody all the time, I got a question today through our social media, and it was asking, do you really make the best paints? That's a tough question. I'm like, well, in all honesty, we don't believe there is such a thing as a best paint. There is only the best paint for you. And that can take on a lot of different manufacturers, styles, types of paint, whatever, because it really is down to what your enjoyment says is the best. It's very subjective, right? Mm-hmm. There is no de facto best paint. There's only a best paint for you, and that can change based on whatever it is you're doing. So I went through that. I said, but we set out to make the paint we would take to that island that,
Yeah.
If we were trapped on an island,
which paint would you take?
We wanted to take the only paint we would ever need. And that's what Protocol is. So we've built it to be the paint that is the only paint we would ever need to paint with. For the first time in my life, think about this, for the first time in my life, I am in a situation where I only have one brand of paint to work with.
Yeah.
And I never have problems.
Yep.
That is the first time in my life I've never run into problems with painting or things I have to go out of my way to do in order to make a paint job look good. I've used every other brand on the market. And the reality is that I always had to make concessions with my expectations, right? And adjust my expectations based on the material not being able to work right and do what I wanted it to do, or do a lot of mixing and waste a bunch of time doing things that weren't really painting in order to get what I needed done. And with Procurl, never, ever a problem. I do whatever we need to do right here live every day and never run into any issues at all.
Yeah.
And that's why I can unequivocally say that for me, Procurl is by far the best paint.
Nice. That's a good way of putting it. D Fresh says, had a crazy idea for a rusty black armor for Gazgul Thraka. Red primer, thin layer coal black from the top, then Payne's gray from a narrow top down angle. What are your thoughts?
So you want black over the red oxide?
Yeah, thin layer of coal black from the top.
To let the red oxide stay in the shadows?
Yeah. And then from the top, then Payne's gray from a narrower top down angle.
So Payne's gray becomes the mid-tone for your black, right?
Interesting.
Could work. I think that the zenithal of the rust with the black over the top of it might be tough. I tend to want to do the black first, so you keep your shadows very dark, right? and then I would use the red zenithal over that, right? So that you have very, very dark shadows rather than the red as a base, which is going to make some of your shadows brighter than you probably want them. Do black, then do the red oxide over the top of that. Then if you want to do the black again, you could, and you could like maybe dry brush the black over the red oxide so that you keep the red oxide in the low spots. Because the zenithal will cover up if you're trying to create rust. The zenithal won't leave anything except where shadows go, and that's not how rust works. Rust would be in pockets, in low spots, even on the top of the helmet where the brightness is. You'd still have some rust if there was low spots. So I think that's the only kickback I would have on that, is that I don't mind the colors. I think I would just do them differently.
Okay.
Start with black, then do the red oxide, then like dry brush the black over the top, then do the Payne's gray over the top of that black, with airbrush or brush or something, but you don't want to cover up all of that red oxide.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah. And
think about the way we do the metallics when we do all the rust on them and then dry brush the metallic over the top. Think of it the same way. It's going to make it look a lot better.
What's up, Zambies?
Zambies? What the heck?
Now, NKH has another good question. Jason, what's the difference between the Pro Acryl Synthetics or the Pro Synthetics and the Dauntless line?
The Dauntless are just made cheaper to be a value brand. They've got very good filament in them, but the cost of the ferrule is less. The way they're made is all automated and not by hand. So they're just cheaper.
And they're really, really good value.
Yeah, they're great value. They're still great brushes. So we just wanted a way to offer to people a way to have a great brush. But it does have some built-in failure points. And I don't say that in terms of like, haha, these will explode 5 minutes after you read this message. It's just that they aren't built with the same last forever kind of mentality that all of our hand-built brushes are. All of our Pro Series brushes are all hand-built.
And you talk about brushes, though, being that tool that you can replace.
Yeah. There are expected failures in tools, and brushes are one that are expected to not last forever. They just can't. You might get lucky and have a brush that lasts you for a long time, especially like a good detail brush that you don't really hammer down on. You use it in a very delicate way, keeps a good point. It could be any brand. It's just you take care of it. You treat it right. It treats you right, and you get a brush that lasts 20 years. Right? I had a Winsor Newton it was a synthetic blend. It was a Sable synthetic blend brush, and I had that thing for over 20 years.
Yeah,
and it was a great brush.
Huh.
But I never used it for like base coating.
Consumables, says Rattlecan.
Yeah, they're just consumables. Yeah. It's what you expect, and your definition of value in that consumable is how much can you get done with it, and what type of work are you doing. I have painters that will talk to me and say, "Dude, your brushes are so incredible. This one lasted me 3 whole Armies."
Yeah,
and I'm like, "Is that a lot?"
That's I guess.
Like, I don't know. Like, how much is that? What are 3 armies of what? Like 3 2,000 point armies of Space Marines? And they look at me and they go, "That's insane, dude. I usually go through a brush and a half per army," kind of a thing. And I'm like, awesome.
Yeah.
And then I have other people that are like super stoked that it lasts them for 1 miniature.
Yeah.
It just depends on how you paint. Lots of people have very heavy hand. They just bang paint on the model. There's nothing wrong with that, but it will eat up your brush quick. So, you just have to, once you learn, like, how do I paint? What effect does that have on the brush? Then you start to maybe tailor your purchasing around that. I can have a very delicate hand when need be, and I can also, just really bang the paint on the model if I'm base coating or going fast or wanting a lot of texture and that kind of stuff. So
Goblin Twink says, Canada Post is holding my Pro Acryl hostage. What should I do? Wait? Question mark.
Boy, Canada Post is holding a lot of people's stuff hostage right now.
Somebody
needs to crawl over there and like literally tell them you're not allowed to strike every single year. I don't understand. And I don't understand, so I'm talking out of my butt. But it's like, seriously? Like, the idea of a strike is to fix the grievances, not to then have more grievances in 12 months.
Yeah.
Like,
Doesn't
your
seem
union
like
is
they
not
can
working
get
for
to
you if you have to strike every year. It feels like they strike every year. It's annoying as heck.
Yeah.
We're just beyond over it. When we open up our Canadian office, we will not use Canada Post, believe it or not. We have better alternatives from private postal services, and that says a lot when your country's postal service is
you'd think they would get something together.
Everybody's trying to figure out a way to circumvent using you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I unfortunately don't have a good plan. I think wait it out, but I don't know. That could be ultra bad given the strike. I haven't had any updates. I personally have something stuck coming from Canada to here via Canada Post that I bought from our friend at Pop Goes the Monkey. The emblems for my Iron Warriors, the little 3D printed shoulder plates or shoulder emblems for the Iron Warriors.
Pop Goes the Monkey.
Yeah,
I like that name.
Yeah, it's his business name.
Pop Goes the Monkey.
And I just got a notice saying might be delayed due to Canada Post worker stoppages and stuff. And I'm like, well,
I'm sorry to hear that, Goblin Twink. Hopefully something gets resolved soon. That Adam says my dongless brushes have been developing a pretty severe hook at the tip. Mm-hmm. Any suggestions on how to fix that or prevent it from happening?
The prevent it from happening is the key, because they are synthetic, and synthetics will hook. They're plastic, right? So various polyesters and nylons and things like that. We don't use a lot of nylon in ours. But they will over time fatigue. So what you want to do, and what I hopefully train people to do by telling them this one simple trick, is that as you paint, right? I'll show you. I'll deliberately do it kind of, I'll overemphasize it. Right, so as I'm painting, I will do a couple of brush strokes, right? And then I'll rotate the brush 90 degrees, right? Mm-hmm. And then I'll rotate the brush 90 degrees. I'm constantly doing this, and I'll show you why. I have a video up on our YouTube called Chasing the Tip. Yep. And it is the video you want to go watch, but I'll talk about it here. Let me get this black done, and then I'll show you. It's easier to show you on my hand than it is on the model. But that video, Chasing the Tip, bookmark that, go back to it, make it something you do all the time, and you will, not only will you be a better painter because of it, you will save the life of all of your brushes, not just your synthetics, but all of them. It's just the single best method to have brush care and brush control all in one easy package.
I just linked that video.
Good. So Chasing the Tip is all about the fact that we use what are called artist rounds. So it has this barrel shape that goes to a point, right? So it's a cylinder that goes to a cone shape at the top, right? And as we load paint into it, right, and we pull it to a point, so we've got this nice point. As you do brush strokes, right, I'm going to exaggerate it and press really hard and do very fat lines. As you do brush strokes, see how you lose the point? It flattens out like that. Right? Can you pop in close?
Yeah.
Right? See how it flattens out? Mm-hmm. But if I rotate it 90 degrees, what happens? I get the point back. I get that ultra sharp chisel that now allows me to do very thin lines, right? I can make textures again. And then as I continue to do that and put pressure on it, it starts to flatten out again. Then what happens? Rotate it 90 degrees and there's your point again. So as you learn to use your brush this way, you never are without a point, because the fact that it flattens out because of use is natural, right? But you always rotate it and get the point back, and now you can do your detailing, get into sharp corners. You'd use it for all the stuff we do with it, right? But also get into the habit of doing this because it keeps the brush bending in every direction and stops it from getting a memory. Believe it or not, a lot of times subconsciously we hold the brush in a particular way. If I'm using a test brush that has no writing on it. With our brushes with writing on it, a lot of people will hold it to where the writing is up. Believe it or not, it's true. You don't just grab the brush and do this. A lot of people will instinctively kind of move it to where the label is up, or that they can't see it at all. And subconsciously, if you're doing that, then as you're painting, if you're always holding the brush in the same direction, the bristles always bend in the same direction. You can back out now.
Okay.
All right, so the bristles will always bend in the same direction. And as they bend in the same direction, they form a memory of bending that way, and they'll start to hook in that way. If I rotate it and paint against that direction, then it will never gain a memory, rotate it 90 degrees and paint in that direction, it'll never gain a memory. You'll still have the problem even when, see, like my synthetics aren't hooking, but the tip will start to splay and fray because you banged it around a lot. You know, it'll still have problems over time because you'll break the tips off and fatigue the brush, but that's how you prevent it. It's actually super simple, and it's not just something you're doing to prevent brush curl. It's something you're doing to make your painting better because it gives you better brush control, better availability to find that sharp tip every time you need it, no matter what the brush load is like, and no matter how you paint, hard, heavy-handed, or very light and delicate. Right? The more delicate you paint, the less your sharp point will start to flatten out.
Yeah.
But it will still happen.
So let's say the hook is, what could you do to revive the hook if it's developed? Nothing?
Nothing. There is a urban legend that you can boil it and get it to go back, but once plastic has deformed and gained that memory, you can never defeat it. You just can't. You can get it, you can heat it and get it to go back to the shape you want, and then when you paint with it for a while, it immediately hooks again.
I see what you're saying. It's just kind of a part of the...
You have a fatigue point. You've thinned out the plastic in a particular area, in a particular direction. You have a fold. It's like bending your credit card a million times. It will eventually snap in half. You can't, once you've bent your credit card a million times and it starts to not sit flat, you can never make it sit flat again. It would always have that ridge and always have that ability to bend along that fold you created. That's exactly what's happening with this. No different at all. So yeah, unfortunately, there's no way to cure it.
Yeah.
But I still use hook brushes. I don't ever throw them away.
And you know
what? I paint with them. It doesn't matter. A hook causes you no problem at all, except
you just have to work around it.
You have to work around it if you're going to try to paint like an eyeball, like a iris with it, right? Because it's no longer a straight tip; it's curled. Yeah. Some people joke and say it lets me paint around corners, but the reality is most painters don't care.
Yeah.
The curled tip is not an issue at all. It still bases fine. It still does 90% of what you paint fine. It just can't get to the super fine direct details that you may want to do because of the hook.
Emerson says, can I cut the plastic to make a point?
No, because that bundle of bristles is very specific. There is a reason why a brush is built the way it is. You cannot trim the point back down to be a point. You can, it will never form a point again.
I see.
The length of the hairs is key to the way they bundle. And when you trim the length down, that's why in our brush care video, we always say never cut across the tip. Always bring the individual hair and cut it at the ferrule.
Yeah.
If you have a problem with it. But no, you can't. You can try. All you're going to do is blunt your brush, and then you won't like it at all. Then it won't do anything you want it to do really well. It'll only make really big fat lines. It'll be better for basing material than anything else.
Zambi says, hi, I paint with eyes with a hook. I paint my eyes with a hook. Just turn your brush to the side.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you can get it to work. That's what I say is that this is one of those things that I never want to sound demeaning when I say this, so please don't take this the wrong way. Everybody has their likes and dislikes, and you've spent good money on the product. If the product hooks, then you're not satisfied with it, then learn how to take care of it, buy a better product. Those kinds of things are all very valid, right? But as a disposable product, a consumable disposable product in our art field, it is better to worry less about the brush you're looking at, right? And just keep painting with it and make it work than it is to fret about, the shape of oh my God, my brush doesn't hold a point anymore. I find this more in new painters than in seasoned painters, I'll say it. Seasoned, meaning they've done more. Because a seasoned painter will have worked through this and realized that, oh yeah, it's not as big a struggle as everybody says it is. A lot of people will say synthetic brushes suck because they curl and then you can't blah, 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 blah. I'm like, what can't you do? Like I painted display models to a very high quality with the brush that people in chat have asked, how do you even paint with that?
You've used your Dauntless brushes to the ground.
I painted, the white-handled Dauntless, if you guys remember, and we still have them here.
Yeah, it's in there. You see that
These are the two brushes that I painted with for over 18 months with these two brushes for the bulk of what we painted with. And they're dry right now, so let me get them wet. And you can see I haven't cleaned them. You see this paint intrusion from the ferrule. That means there's at least an equal amount of this dark, dried paint under the ferrule. I haven't cleaned them. right? And they haven't really curled super bad, a little bit of a minor curl there, but because I rotate it, you can see that these are just the Dauntless brushes, and they hold their shape really well. The ferrule is not really loose or anything, so these are still in pretty good shape, right?
Yeah.
And this is a number 4, I think. I think there's 4s. And then this one is the one that I started with and painted with the longest, and it's beat. Yeah. Right? It holds a point. This way I can fool you and say, look how great that brush is. But the reality is much different. Right? This one is, that's re-wetting it. And so it's super stiff. And, you know, this was the first one that we had.
Well, and how much is that
The ferrule's still tight on it, though.
I mean, that was our Dauntless prototype, correct?
These are the Dauntless prototypes.
So, I mean, for the value, you can't
literally 18 months I painted with these 2 brushes.
Yeah.
As my main brush. So 80% of the workload was done with these. And yeah, I don't have a problem with it at all. You can tell that they have a different automated machine crimping rather than our very exact crimping machine. You can see in the kind of diamond crimp that it does.
Yeah.
So, you know, but it's I'm used to this. This is probably at the point where it just becomes a basing brush. I can clean it, but you can see how it has broken some of the hairs to where the point is not. This is kind of like what would happen if you cut the brush. You would lose the ability to have it even point like the one on the left.
And you used a lot of it. You used a lot.
Oh, yeah, I got, considering that these brushes, I think in the set, when you price them out, are less than $5 a brush.
I think so, yeah.
Because I think it's like 22 something for the set of 5 brushes. So the less than $5, I guarantee you, I got hundreds of dollars worth of value out of these brushes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just not even joking.
If you guys go back over the last long months, right? A year or so, or not a year, but almost, more than that. And you watch Jason on stream where he had a white-handled brush. It's
one of those 2.
Yep.
I only ever had 2. I mean, I had more that we used for other testing.
Right.
But I only ever had 2 of those in the studio. And of that size, and that was the size that I painted with all the time. I think it was a 4. Might have been a 3. But, yeah, just keep banging away with it.
That Chai Cat says, speaking of it, is there any way to recycle old brush handles once they completely donezo?
I mean, they're wood, so I guess you could use them for whatever you want.
I guess
they're varnished or lacquered, wood handles. So
you could have put them in the recycle.
Well, I mean, I don't think the rules around recycling want you to put painted stuff in there.
Right, I believe so.
So no, but like they're wood. You could literally, put them in a chipper and turn them to sawdust and glue them back into chipboard if you wanted to.
Yeah, Zambies was saying the brush circle of life. Once it's no longer good for painting, it's a texture brush, then a glue brush, then a string stick, and then the trash.
Yeah, there's so many things. I've talked so many years. Sam, you've hit the nail on the head, right? It's that a brush is never done. It's like a dreadnought for us. It's like you just keep pressing it back into service, right? It does basing. Eventually, it'll spread white glue or super glue on your bases for putting texture on them.
Oh, you can, tree trunk, yeah.
It'll do everything. It'll do stippling. You can cut your brush down and get really cool effect brushes out of it.
Like a stipple.
I make stippling brushes out of cutting my brushes down.
Somebody was asking that a little bit ago, so that answers that question.
Yeah, I have some here that we have cut down over the years. I don't know that I'll be able to find them because the brush cups have like 5 million brushes in them here. Usually it's easy to just see the stipple brushes, though. Oh, yeah, there's one right there. Here's one. This is one of our original artillery. Before we called them popping clothes.
Yeah.
So we made our first synthetics were called Bombwick utility brushes.
Huh.
And this was a size 4 when we were slow fuse gaming. So this brush is from 2016, okay?
Okay.
So this brush is still here on my desk in service as a stippling brush, but what I use this for is for making scratches and like rust areas on tanks because, if I go in and tap it in a little bit of black paint over here, you don't really get it wet, and then you kind of use it like a dry brush kind of a thing, and then you go in and you... Right? Oh, like that?
Yeah.
You go in and you tap it and rotate it around on the surface, and now all of a sudden you have a scratch maker, right, that creates random patterning for texturing. And now you've got dings and scratches. on tank sides and Space Marine armor and wherever you want to, whatever color you want, right? So you can see I just kind of hacked at it so it has an irregular shape to it. It's got like bits and pieces sticking in weird, looks like bedhead. And that's what you want, because now it'll last forever. This brush can be used literally forever. You never will throw it away, and it'll be a tool you'll always use. So always remember, there are really creative things you can do with your brush. That brush is from 2016, guys. It could have been in the trash a long time ago, nearly a decade ago. I could have put that in the trash. But when it was done, it was never done. Pressed back into service. It's here going, let me die.
Till the death.
I refuse. You still have years to go.
Let me die.
I won't. I won't.
Oh.
That brush is older than 4 of your 5 children.
There you go.
Like I said, it's, you know, you never say never. It's put it back into service. Make it work for you.
Jason, NKH says, Jason, World War II painting stream when?
What do you want me to paint? Bolt action? I think we've talked recently about me painting some bolt action. I just need to figure out what and when. Right now we're deep in these Blood Angels, so it's going to be a while. I have 80 dudes I have to put on the table, so...
Yeah, hey, but I think a lot of these little bits, these little gold nuggets.
I don't know. Do any of my other guys need any black on them? Maybe a black helmet here and
look
there?
at put that guy. Let me see the front. That guy's dope, man. That one is so cool. That model is dope as.
Yeah, this guy is really cool. He's got really cool shoulder plates and stuff. This is my Centurion.
Yeah,
my Centurion goes with the a group of veterans that all have double lightning claws.
Yeah, I like that. I like that model. So I like that workup. You heard it here, folks. I said it. He is just a chunky, in-your-face boy.
I like the idea of maybe the cloak being black.
Oh.
No reason why that can't happen, huh?
No reason at all. Speaking of no reasons at all.
Welcome, everyone.
We're so glad you're here. Hopefully, you learned just how I did. Now, I'm never throwing a brush away. You get your little pile of beautiful used brushes into a cup, all nice. Have so much potential.
Now you understand why, because for my, as a kid who didn't have any money, models and brushes and paints were like gold. My parents would not, if I'd have been caught throwing a brush away, they would have never allowed me to buy another hobby product, right? Because it's like, well, I'm not spending money on you. It's like your jeans. It's like you don't need new jeans. You need me to sew some patches in your knees. Right? And so you would get patches sewn in the knees of your torn jeans, and you'd get back out there. And that's fine.
Yeah.
But what it does is now that's why I have all these brushes sitting in these cups. I can never let go. Even though I live in a world where, dude, we can just go get you some brushes.
Yeah. Earl Dunk says, you mentioned doing a Beetle shell effect using transparent black over the top.
Yeah.
Do you have the model handy? You mentioned it a few streams ago.
Chris stole it from me, so I don't know where it is. I think you probably painted it
over. Hold, please.
A lot of times we paint over those so that we can paint them again.
Not this one.
And again and again and again. All right, he's handing it to me, so give me a minute.
Not that one, because I wanted to make that a bit. Interested to see how Jason does the inside of that cape.
You mean just technically?
Yeah, technically.
With it already on?
Yeah.
A lot of times I cheat. We spray those shadow colors like Payne's Gray and Dark Plum, and so the inside of the cape has Payne's Gray and Dark Plum. And so what I do a lot of times is just build off of that and find a highlight that works well with the Payne's Gray and the Dark Plum, and the inside's just dark, like not a magenta, but like a burgundy probably.
Muffin Truck says, I submitted my first ever model for the OSL challenge.
Did you just say Muffin Truck?
Muffin Truck.
That is amazing.
I submitted my first ever mini for the OSL challenge. I'm nervous.
Don't be nervous.
I'm
it's
so
gonna
excited
be great.
for you.
You're going to love it.
Good for you.
You're going to love it. Hopefully, if you've watched any of the way that we look at them and review them, this is not what would you say, a competition.
No.
Not by any means. So you'll do great.
We pick some winners for fun, but regardless, Jason will sit and we go over all of these on stream, which will be tomorrow. So put that on your calendar. We're going over all of those, and then I will announce and post the October challenge tomorrow as well. So get ready for that.
This is my Master of Descent.
You want to show that Beetle real quick?
Oh, yeah.
Earl Dunk, this is the model he did that transparent black workup, and I'm sure you saw that. You were mentioning that you did see that actual live thing.
Right. So we just kind of mashed a bunch of the random transparents and colors.
I'm going to find that stream and link it
onto this, and then painted the black wash and stuff over the top.
Super simple.
So yeah, it's super, super simple. And then of course I went in over time. We highlighted it real quick, just,
That method blew my mind when you were doing it for some reason.
So it gives you the way to do kind of that oil slick look. And you can, of course, do it a lot better because we were working so fast. A lot of the paint tore when I put the wash on there.
Yeah.
So if you let the bottom paint dry, because I kind of just wet blended it. Think of it like watercolor. Take the transparents, thin them down, put them on splotches, leave them wet, put the next one in wet so they blend together and swirl together, and just keep doing that in random patches. Pick whatever colors you want.
And
then when you're done, just pull all of your black wash down to where you want the shade. Like I wanted the shade to be at the bottom of the wing and more color up at the top. It probably could have stood to have more. You can see how like the magenta and stuff, got torn out because it was too wet. We were moving really quick, but you can get the gist of it.
That makes me want to buy that Irelia model, or not Irelia.
The one on the Beetle.
Ariel, yeah.
The Everqueen.
Cool. Yes. Perfect, Earl Dunk. Perfect technique for my alien. Sweet.
Yeah, it's super easy. And you pick whatever color you want.
Check that link out right there.
You definitely don't have to use all the colors, but you can choose. Pick and choose.
Yes, we are doing Orktober for our October challenge. Paint up an orc. Whatever that means to you.
I like this guy having a black helmet.
Yeah, we're going to be doing Orktober. September's challenge was OSL, and then October's going to be Orktober. I bet you we're going to get a lot of Orktober submissions.
Orktober's fun. I mean, orcs are fun.
Orcs are so fun.
No matter what orc you paint, they can be fun. Big, serious, axe-wielding orcs.
Yep.
Some people have made some that feel like orcs from World of Warcraft. Big over-the-top cartoony, but not, cartoony but serious cartoony kind of feel.
Yep.
Obviously, GW orcs are more comedy than not, although they've kind of moved away from that.
Yeah, I do like the junkyard style orcs vibe.
Yeah. I thought that when they came out with the kill team that has the orcs commandos were so good.
Irelia, somebody's been playing LOL. Don't talk about my great shame.
Let's not get him started.
Let's not get me started. I am a good person here because I'm a bad person there.
That's what he says. He goes, the only reason that he is as nice as he is because he gets all his hate and anger out on League of Legends.
100%. Not publicly. I'm not one of those guys who will destroy you in the chat, which is the all chat. I'm not one of those. But I do get mad at myself when I lose. I have been playing, though, a little bit.
Really?
Oh, yeah,
you keep going back to it.
Oh, yeah. I've been playing.
I have done very well by not going back to any of my MOBAs.
Arena is so fun.
I'm sure you think so.
I have a buddy, and it's just perfect.
I'm sure you think so.
It is perfect. We won twice the other night, and it's one of the most satisfying feelings ever.
I'm glad you think so.
It's so fun, Jason.
Okay, so I have a confession to make in the world of video games.
Uh-oh.
I have gone back and found a long lost love of mine in video games.
Uh-oh.
I'll give you a little test. I'm going to make you guys guess what it is.
Oh, MechWarrior Online.
It's a game that I have been playing since 2008,
No.
9?
Oh, I think I know.
2008, I think.
I don't know.
And I was able to get them to give me access to my account again, and I was able to retrieve all my characters.
RuneScape?
Oh no, I've never even played RuneScape.
World of Warcraft.
Nope, not World of Warcraft.
Uh,
I don't think I could go back to World of Warcraft because in order to enjoy it, I have to be part of a team of people that can raid.
Soul Siege says Gauntlet Dark Legacy.
No, what the hell?
Guild Wars 2.
Nope.
Heroes 3.
I have asked to get my Guild Wars accounts back, and their support team won't help me.
I got my Lotro stuff back a while ago.
I got my Lotro stuff back. I can log into Lotro.
What is it, Jason? What's up, Zaba?
I want people to continue to guess. Lucas, I'm going to see you in a couple of weeks at SMC, baby.
Yep. OG Guild Wars.
No, not OG Guild. I never played real Guild Wars. I say real. I never played the first one. I only played Guild Wars 2, and it was a lot of fun. But like I said, and we even know somebody that works for that company.
Final Fantasy.
And I couldn't get them to reinstate my accounts.
What is it?
Not Final Fantasy, although I've thought about going back to that.
Oh, you play Final Fantasy?
I did. Final Fantasy 14?
Oh, yeah.
I've got multiple level 80 was the top level when I was playing.
Gosh, I don't know.
I have a level 80 priest, healer, whatever that was.
EVE Online.
It is EVE Online.
Are you serious?
It is EVE Online, Mega Zip.
What?
I got them to reinstate my characters, my 90 million skill point combat fighter, and all my pirate. All of my accounts came back online.
Wow.
All intact.
That's
billions of ISK. I haven't played the game since Plex was still 1 per month for subscription. I came back in and it's like, what do you mean you buy 1 million Plex? Like, what? They blew the economy up? Is it really that crazy? So yeah.
Wow.
It's changed a lot, but it has stayed the same as well.
Interesting. Okay.
So, and I'm having an absolute blast. They have redone the new player experience to where even I would say a seasoned vet. I understand how the game works. I have not played in a long time, but nothing's changed to such an extent that I don't feel comfortable in the pilot seat.
Yeah.
And so that's been really cool.
Ozzy says, EVE sounds like a game for Jason. Flapjack says, how many ISK you got in those accounts?
About 70 billion.
70 billion? I don't even know what that means, but it sounds like a lot.
I'm poor. I'm poor. What alliance were you with? I was in Team Pizza, which was a C5 Wormhole Corp.
Team Pizza?
Team Pizza.
Jason was a healer in Final Fantasy. He knew the way. Healing was the best.
I enjoyed healing in Final Fantasy. I first started with some other class. I don't remember what their classes were.
I always tank and heal in games.
But healing wound up being really cool because the damage you could do in Final Fantasy 14 as a healer was off the charts. It was fun.
Yo, that's fun. Always being able to do damage while healing is always fun. Wow. I was in Team Pizza.
No way!
Tadpole Jackson.
No way! Seriously? My character, Tadpole, was Patty Nildernick.
I just love it when people bring up their old character names.
Well, see, back in the day, like when EVE
it was a big deal.
When I first joined, a lot of the people that I got in with were my friends, and they said, well, I have this character I don't ever use. He's my freighter sitter. Like he would sit in a freighter and just transport stuff back and forth, but have you ever played EVE?
Never.
EVE has the weirdest world of skill tree you'll ever imagine.
Yeah.
You inject skills like the Matrix.
Okay.
So if you want to fly a fighter, that's not fighters, you want to fly a frigate, you inject a skill book for frigates for the nation you want or the corp that you want, right? And because they're all different. So you inject a frigate book and then you train it up to level 5 max. And the first level takes like sometimes 7 minutes. Then it might be 30 minutes. Then it might be 14 hours. Then level 4 might be 2 days. And level 5 can be super long for like capital style training. It could be like I told Jen, my skill training queue can be a year long. Like in real days of year. Wow. Now it trains while you're offline.
Oh,
but you can be set up to where the skills you have in there don't finish until this time next year, physically this time next year. Oh. So I can't do at the level I want to, whatever it is that's in my skill tree until this time next year.
Interesting.
So it has a high investment curve from that standpoint.
Huh.
But
interesting.
So they gave me a bunch of characters. So names, you can't change your name. So I got characters that have the dumbest names ever. I also have the character Slow Fuse.
That's kind of fun, though.
I'm actually playing my character Slow Fuse, but I had to rebirth him because I couldn't. I guess I deleted my original Slow Fuse character when I left the game.
Oh, okay.
Or sold him.
Sure.
And so I created another new Slow Fuse character, and that's where I'm investing all my time. I'm funneling all my money over to my new character for my old characters so that I can get back into the game before I take. All my old characters have what are called implants.
Yeah.
And they have very high cost implants, like combat implants that are like, I don't know, hundreds of billions of money in your head to make your stats better. And I didn't want to just go out and fly those and die. Yeah, EVE is free to play. You have 26 accounts. That's crazy. I have 4 accounts. But
wow.
But a lot of alts. So you can have 3 characters on each account. So I can have up to 12 characters.
Graduated from the Leroy Jenkins School of Training and Planning.
That is one of the greatest videos of all time. I show people that, give them a little bit of understanding, and when they watch it, everybody always laughs. It's like, I got it. EVE was such a weird game. You love reading about it, though. It is such a great social studies game. They literally made real world the MMO, but set it in space. Because you can literally do anything you want to do in EVE. You know, there's people that will go join corporations, alliances, and play good for years. Befriend people, go to their weddings, and then rob the corp of all of its cash in a day and disappear and never be seen again.
Yikes.
Like, they put that kind of time in. It's both horrible and amazing at the same time. It is free to play. You can only go up to, I think, 5 million skill points with free to play, and a lot of skills are not available to you until you pay the monthly charge. So you can't fly the Tech 2 and Tech 3 ships on free to play. There's a lot of ships that aren't available to you. It doesn't mean the game isn't playable. You can play pretty much everything there is to do in the game on a free account, though.
Are they still updating it and stuff?
100%.
Crazy.
They even got bought by a Chinese company, but the original CCP games out of Iceland is still running it all and updating and doing a great job.
Wow.
It literally is. It's a fantastic game. It has a lot to offer.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Love hearing about the different groups that will help people that run out of gas out in space.
There is a whole corp that all it is goes and saves people. Well, they don't run out of gas. That's Elite Dangerous. You can't run out of gas in space. You can get blown up and trapped someplace, right? Because every time you get blown up, your clone rebirths in wherever your last clone bay was, and your HQ. But you can get trapped a long distance away from all your stuff, right? And then you can pay a corporation or an individual. You can hire out contracts for them to go get your stuff, put it in a freighter, insure it, and bring it to you so that you don't have to fly through unsecured areas of space and get blown up instantly. Because there's like lawless areas of space where you can kill people. It goes high sec, low sec, null sec. High sec, there's also Pochven, which is a new thing now. High sec, you can be killed, but the person that killed you gets killed by the police. In low sec, it's free open PvP, but you can't pod people. And then in null sec, it's all holds barred. You can pod people, blow them up, kill them, send them back, Your pod is like this little ship that you get your body stays in after your ship blows up. So you can still move around and fly. You can get back to wherever you need to, wherever your stuff is in your pod in low sec and not have to worry too much.
Huh.
But in null sec, they can pod you, and then your clone goes back to wherever out in high sec your med bay was, and then you got to find your way back home, and all your stuff's a bajillion jumps away. So it's pretty crazy.
Monument Hobbies Corp.
Can we make a Monument Hobbies Corp? If we had enough people, EVE University is still super strong. Their wiki is still the thing that leads people around. You should join them if you're new to the game. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they do have people. There's a whole newbie channel. As soon as you join, there's a noobs channel where you get to ask, and there's hundreds of people trying to do a good job of helping you out. Now, it was funny because the other day in that chat, somebody mentioned something that sticks very true. EVE is the game where everybody is so nice, growing you up to be somebody they can kill. EVE is a game of fattening up the hog so that you can kill the hog and have lots of bacon. That's what EVE is. Everybody's nice to the pig, the new pig, for as long as it takes to then realize that, they were trying to kill me all along. That's what EVE is.
Wow.
It is a great game.
Wow. Well, if you didn't know what EVE Online is...
I'll start a Monument Hobbies Corp if we want to put it together. I don't know that I will play Corp EVE for a while. I still need to get back into the habit. When I left, I had my main character was in Team Pizza. I was one of the FCs that did nullsec raids, and we would like frigate and cruiser raid to do PvP at the sun. We would get a wormhole pop out in 0-0, and we would go fight people in their home at the sun. Just fun. They would drop carriers on us, always oblivious to the world.
Philip said, "I've always had a dream of being livestock."
Yeah, exactly, right? And then my alt ran a C3 wormhole corp, which was just a few of us that used the C3 for ratting and mining to make money when the C5 was not making enough cash. So I don't know that I would be willing to do any of that yet, because I'm still finding my footing in the game again, but, I don't know. It can eat up all of your time, Chris.
Here's with... I love talking about games, and then when I eventually go in and play, I'm like, dang it, I can't get into this.
Eve is an amazing game.
Gabe has to suffer through that too, where he's like, I want to play a game, Chris. I'm like, I don't want to play any games.
That was where I was, and I was like, you know what? And you know what happened is they've released a game called Vanguard, and I got in on the beta or alpha on Vanguard. And I went ahead and bought a founder's pack for Vanguard.
Yeah.
It is a first-person shooter that is really good gunplay. They've tried to do this before. They tried to do it where they had a console game
I've heard of Vanguard.
that tied into Eve so that you could be part of the Eve experience but play a first-person shooter and actually have an effect on the game. They did it. It didn't work. The game was janky. I played it back in the day. It didn't work very well. Now they've done it again. They've learned from some of their mistakes. They have a game called Vanguard. The gunplay is awesome. It's still in very early stages of alpha, so it is kind of jank. But the gunplay's rad. The game loop is rad, and they're going to tie it into EVE Online. And so now it means that, and that of course got me thinking, oh, well, maybe I should see if my EVE accounts still exist. So that's what I did. They also have another game called EVE Frontiers. Somebody?
EVE Frontiers.
EVE Frontiers is like EVE whittled down to a survival game where it is based around you not having as much to choose from, and you have to have fuel.
Yeah.
So you're constantly mining and making fuel. You can run out of fuel, and then you literally just have to blow your ship up and start over. So it has a little bit more of that mechanic for people like, say, Gabe. Gabe likes that stuff. And I played Frontiers. I downloaded Frontiers too. So I'm kind of all into the CCP world again.
There you go.
And it's being pretty fun. So
Shark says, Jason, are you thinning the paint at all on the following non-metallic layers?
No, what I'm really... Well, okay, that's a lie. I'm not ever thinning the paint the way you may be thinking. I've always got water on the brush that is diluting the paint a little bit. But only to make it flow. Like this first layer, no. Well, I'm going to block in where I want gold stuff now. And on the first layer, it's just a little bit of water on the brush, enough to make the paint flow, so I can get good opaque coverage, right? On the next layer, probably about the same. You know, I have a video called what did you title it? Just Do This?
Just Do This.
The Just Do This video of Chris Links, it will show you how I thin my paint for everything I paint. Non-metallic metal, leather, anything I'm doing. Watch that video. You will know my secret. It's not a secret, but...
Yeah.
That's the way to do it. The first time I apply any color that is not a base coat, right? So this is not a base coat. I am not trying to blend the green with the red overspray on his head, right? I'm just trying to cover it up. So not much thinning. The next color I use will have more thinning for the first time I use it. And then it will go more opaque for the second coat. And I typically am doing, 2-3 coats of every color to give you an idea. So first time you use a color generally goes thin unless it's a base coat. Second time you use the color, not so much.
Sharky ran out. I keep our list of YouTube link videos up at all times. That's how I did it so quickly.
He's so quick. He's so quick. He has a database.
You guys like my ultra lightning fast sounds?
We just sound like a bad overdub on a kung fu flick.
What do you think of the technique of Flame On, Jason?
It's great.
We love Mashik. He's an amazing guy.
Mashik he blocks in his values with color, meaning he puts his dark reflections, bright reflections, midtones across the whole model. We actually have...
it's right off there to the
he,
side.
at Adepticon, sat down and painted with us, and he did that on this. So this is all Mashik, basically blocking out his values in color for his non-metallic steel and gold on this model. So there's no blending across any of this. There's a couple of areas down here on the elbow where I blended it to show people how he eventually goes in and blends. But on all this, it's unblended. He just blocks it in to where you could literally leave the model that way, and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It has the banding of color, but it's done so specifically that it works. And then he goes back in between each of these colors and blends them together with a mix of the two colors, right? And gets it to be that smooth blend. But he starts with a block. So I love it. It's great. It's great for people that like to... obviously, he's a master of this, so he's beyond the need of the paint by numbers kind of let himself see. But for starting out, sketching your value in color like this can help tremendously for you to get an idea of where that brightness and darkness need to be, and if it works with limited amount of effort. So you could go in and be like, mid-tone grays here, a stroke of black reflection, a dark reflection over here, mid-tone grays, and then bright, and then look at it and say, yeah, that's what I want. Or be like, no, I kind of want the brightness to move closer to your head, and then shift it all because you haven't put a lot of effort into it, so it's easy to kind of erase by painting over it again.
Yep.
So this is very good for that. It lets you be creative, right? And kind of sketch, although his sketching is not texture and loose. His is very tight, the way he puts color on the model. But it still allows him to alter it very easily. And it doesn't take him a lot of time. What takes him a lot of time is the blending of all of this. But you can see how he's 80% of the way there with his sketch.
I know, and that's...
The further the camera gets away, the more this looks finished.
From there, yeah, that's the cool style of his. Like, see this chest bit... Right? It just looks like metal.
Looks done. Yeah. You get close and you realize, oh, you hadn't blended anything. It adheres to the same principles that I've done with Thanos, although he's much tighter in the way he's using the color. But this was all done with no blends on Thanos, and it's the same exact thing. It's almost crazy that I use the same colors.
I would like to paint like that. That seems like a fun technique.
But it's just don't have to blend at all. What you're doing is you're using banded colors that are mixed in close proximity to one another to give you the blended look, but it doesn't have to be blended at all. So for people that have a hard time with the physical concept of getting your coordination down to be able to blend colors smoothly, you don't have to blend at all. It's fine. You can do things like that and literally be a master and blow people's minds with never blending a color at all.
Sharky says NMM is on my short list. Yeah, me too. I am. I think one of these days we're gonna do a series where Jason teaches me how to do some non-metallic metal, and I think you all will really learn from it because you'll watch my struggles and hopefully some aha moments for me.
Frigid Phoenix, awesome.
Yeah, Frigid Phoenix is gonna come in. Yeah, come and say hi if you're around Phoenix.
Mo, what's going on?
But yeah, I would like to attempt that one day. One day.
It is just, I always tell people, it's just the painting you're already doing.
Just in a different way?
You just don't know it yet. Huh. You haven't had the light bulb set off. You haven't drawn the distinguishing line between how bright and dark lead you there. You're worried more about it being some fantastic, unknown magic, that's only taught in the forest by druids, and you haven't discovered it yet, and that's not the case. There's nothing magical about it at all. It's literally just light and dark. Everything you paint is using light and dark in the right combination to fool the eye into thinking that light is hitting the model in a certain way. That's all we're doing.
Yeah. Echo, my name is Christopher, and that is Jason.
Hello.
Welcome in, everybody. We are doing, and by doing, I mean painting, and by we, I mean Jason. And by Jason, I mean all of us in the beautiful ocean.
Chad. So I'm painting Blood Angels. Chris isn't doing anything.
I'm doing a lot here.
But this is my Blood Angels color scheme that we're doing. Yeah. And I'm right now working on some Praetorian Guard that I've kit bashed up. I'm using Sanguinary Guard heads, some custom shields, and various bits, GW bits and stuff all over them for my Heresy army. I got these 3D printed cool winged jump packs and stuff that are neat, so I didn't have to use the silly Sanguinary wings. Yeah, so we're painting an entire army of Heresy Bros. And we are doing it all live.
Live
and in color. And so we have so far worked on. We finished one. We finished our Dreadnought a couple weeks back. We did the the Dreadnought, the Incendious Dreadnought with the jump pack, and the whatever they call them. I forget what the incendiary fire claws are called, but we got that guy. And then we've been working on like the normal troops, trying to give some variation to the army. So my normal assault troops that aren't veterans have all got steel or silver, non-metallic on the trim there. And we realized too late that I didn't do any of the studs on the legs, so I don't know what I'm going to do there. But, and then the vets are all in like gold, like this guy. This guy is one of my veteran assault troopers.
Yeah. Ryan says, have you picked up any new armies that are pre-built since you found that Facebook group?
Yes. Well, no, it wasn't that I found a Facebook group. I've been a member of it for a long time. It's just that for some reason, a lot of people are offloading armies at really good deals lately.
I mean, you bought that Iron Wars army.
It happens every year before Christmas as people are trying to turn things they have and don't use into money for either other things or gifting or whatever they need. And yes, I have. I have bought a Solar Auxilia army that I talked about, I think. It's all over. It's in here in the studio, actually. They're all over there on trays. The Iron Warriors army that you saw me paint last Monday.
Yep, Monday.
We did a squad of Iron Warriors super fast, showing you how I was going to do that army so that it doesn't take this, eye-bleeding amount of time that these Blood Angels are going to take, but it'll still look really good. And I just recently... Oh, I guess I didn't buy any other full armies. I have all of that, and then I have some vehicles coming that I found. And what else did I get? I bought some Grey Knights.
You did?
Yeah,
Grey
don't ask me why.
Why did you?
I bought an army of Grey Knights because this guy who uses our paints...
Okay.
Went in and forgive me if you're in chat right now. I really apologize. Can't remember your name. But I had seen, I believe, weeks ago, and I might get called out on this, but I saw this listing a long time ago, and I guess it didn't sell. I don't know if Grey Knights are good. I don't care. What I don't care about 40K or playing 40K.
Sure.
What I cared about was the fact that he converted from Primaris Marines all of his Grey Knights. So all of his Grey Knights are Primaris-sized Grey Knights. They're all done really, really well. Like the kit bashing he's done is great. They all have the big storm bolter on the fist and the psi weapons and the deals on the backpacks and the whole nine. But they're all done with Primaris. They have the book on the shoulder plate. So I don't know where he got 3D printed bits or whatever. They're all Primaris, literal GW Primaris models. And I don't remember how many there are, like 50 or 60 dudes. And I just thought it was cool.
Yeah.
So I wrote him a note, and I said, I know you said you wouldn't split it up, but I don't want the baby carriers, the big Dreadnought things with the baby carrier. I said he had 6 of those. Like, I don't want any of those. I was like, but I would really like to have that rest of that so that I could prime over them and paint them, which I always hate telling people because some of them were painted. And I was like, but he was stoked because he had painted them with our paints.
Oh, nice.
And I was like, I'm going to paint over them. And he was stoked. He was like, I will split it up for you. And I was like, dude, that is awesome. Thank you.
Value.
So I have that coming in just because I really want to paint him up as super grimdark.
Yeah.
Like, Grey Knights, to me, never get the right treatment. I want to paint them up as just demon blood-coated, nasty Primaris dudes. I don't know why. So will it ever happen? Probably not. But I have
Maybe,
those.
though.
I have those.
And Value, thank you so much for that raid. Welcome in, Raiders.
And we did buy a, what's it called? Legions Imperialis AdMech army, too.
Yep.
So, yes.
I think, no, we haven't forgotten the Thunderhawk.
Oh, yeah, we have a Thunderhawk.
We have many models, and by we, I mean Jason.
Oh, yeah, totally.
And by Jason, I mean we have a whole room filled with models. And by whole room filled with models,
again, but
we have models.
I have the same problem you do, chat. So every now and then I go on a tear, and I get to write it off as studio stuff. So
Phil says, you want to paint my Fellblade?
No.
No, he's going to paint my King Broad before your Fellblade.
That ain't happening because I offered and you said no.
I did. What a fool.
That was one of the most foolish things you've ever done.
That's okay. I knew why. We knew why, and I stick with it. I've got to do this, Jason. That was my excuse.
Well,
and now that I am painting them...
Philip didn't have that excuse, and he got a really cool model.
He did get a cool model. That's okay. Philip, you're banned. Banned, fired.
Of course, he doesn't play AOS anymore, I don't think. But
we don't play it often. And he hasn't played his Flesh Eater Courts in a while. We'll play a Path to Glory every once in a blue moon. No, Philip, you don't do anything with that army anymore. You threw it away, I believe. Yeah. Philip's like, yeah, this is garbage. Just threw it away.
Wow.
And you're banned, Philip. You're muted. I'm going to mute you right now. Bing.
I don't think that's how that works, but
nice try. Just muted Philip. Schlebling.
Nice try, Chris.
I did it. I've done it. Welcome in, Raiders.
Hello, everybody.
Stan says, Jason, are Grey Knights not 30K army and weren't created because of the Horus Heresy?
Well, they're not 30K in the 30K lore because they got shipped off by Malkador as Terra was falling because Malkador knew that this was not going to end well and they were supposed to be the defense against what was to come. So he sent a lot of the psychically attuned brotherhood that he created off to Titan.
Okay.
And then I don't know a bunch about them after that. I just know what happened during the heresy. I haven't been a huge Grey Knights fan, but not because I was purposefully not engaged with them. Sure. There have been some books. I forget what it was called. There was a book where it was one of Abaddon's last Black Crusades, and he comes into real space, and in doing so, goes to this planet that has one of the, whatever the obelisks or towers are that the Necrons like. The Blackstone obelisks or whatever that are psychically attuned to the warp. And so he's going. And so the Imperium thinks he's there to do something with that. He summons a bunch of demons. There's a tremendous amount of Nurgle demons and Khorne, Dukes of Hell kind of thing going on this planet. But really what he was there was to get this Grey Knight who was stationed there since the heresy to protect the planet. He was there to kidnap him. Because this particular Grey Knight was one of the originals who has a gene seed specially concocted by the Emperor, supposedly. And so it was really macabre because they take that guy back and strap nulls to him. They sew nulls to his back so he loses all his psychic powers, cut his tongue out, and then steal his gene seed from him.
Nice.
It's pretty brutal.
Sounds like my first wife.
It's pretty brutal. Yeah, it's pretty brutal. So, Grey Knights are, I don't know a lot about them, but...
Beef Daddy says, I'm struggling to make a nice dirty white for World Eaters that I'm happy with. I would like the mahogany base for dried blood or dirt. Any suggestions for the buildup?
Mahogany's a great choice for that.
Mahogany. Mahogany.
After mahogany, if you still want it to be really dirty... Then you can move from mahogany to, say, light umber, right? To get away from the reddish, lean into the brownish part of mahogany. You can mix mahogany with light umber, get a layer, and then just light umber to get another layered color up. And then after that, I like the olive flesh, and then into whatever you want to act as your white. Can be, ivory. We talked about this yesterday. It can be ivory. It can be whatever you want.
I love olive flesh.
Olive flesh in that is amazing, though.
I'm going to say, every time Jason says olive flesh, I'm going to play that tone.
You shouldn't do that.
It's a good thing, though. It's a great color.
You'll make sure I never say olive flesh.
Olive flesh!
Well, you can't do it when you say it.
I can and I will.
Well, then you'll just say it all the time. Oh, chat. See what I have to deal with.
So sorry. We're back.
It's all fun and games until you realize he gets paid for this.
It's all fun and games
until... It's infuriating.
Let's just not think about that part. Here we go. Painting question. Ozzy, is it okay to paint arms, backpack, or head separately in bundles? I do it to make less mistakes by destroying it. So you're talking about sub-assembly, Ozzy.
Sure.
You could.
Sure, 100%. You won't see me do it. We joked about it yesterday. I'm still a kid at heart, and I really want the model to be finished. I want to play with my toys. And so when I'm building models, I'm like, yeah, I want the toy to be done.
I'm the same way.
And so you won't see me doing it very often unless it's something that just absolutely is necessary. There are some times where there's parts of models where I'm like, yeah, that doesn't make any sense to have connected to the main body of the model while I'm painting everything else.
Wad says, you'll never guess what's not done yet. This weekend should be the last. There's a finish line in sight. Hey, Wad.
Holy Wad, how is this taking so long?
I've never heard of a move as long as yours, Wad. And I say that as a beautiful man out of respect. What's going on? Are you moving mountains? Because it definitely sounds like you are. Yes, absolutely. It sounds like you've got a really cool hobby space in sight, though.
But that sounds crazy to me.
In a long time. Because I'm doing it myself and I'm very out of shape. But you're doing it yourself, Wad. That's the point. Good for you.
Are you building the house?
No, that's Philip.
Oh. Well, I thought maybe he was taking his cues from Philip. Like, are you building it from scratch?
Philip, they've been moving as long as I've been remodeling. Perfect timing, Philip. The one and only PMS says, I'm painting a new Trench Crusade warband. Out of all the deets and dutes, I'm struggling the most on the base. Any colors you recommend for No Man Land mud?
Black brown as a start.
Okay.
Because it just gives you a really good, rich, wet dirt color.
Okay.
Into that, you can choose, right? And I say choose because, earth can be, heavy in clays, grays, browns, or like reds. And you get to choose what that would look like. I think in that kind of World War I trenchy feel, although, Trench Crusade by and large is meant to represent the Crusades being extended into this crazy, weird future.
Right.
So you might think of deserty colors too. So you could go with like yellow browns mixed in with it. The idea, though, is to just keep mixing color in weird ways. Like, get crazy with it. Because you can imagine this is all mud. It's all swirling around. It's being stomped in and causing, the bottom layers to get mixed with the top layers. So you don't have to worry. You can get kind of loose with it and use some crazy brush strokes and define it how you want. I think it's a lot of fun in concept. But yeah, I think black-brown. And then out of black-brown, I would probably start moving into, warm grays, dark warm grays. You could throw a little bit of yellow into it, whatever works.
JV Django says, hi, guys. Any tips for cell shading? What is that?
Well, that's the painting with no blending.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Right? You're not blending. You're basically...
That's the name of it.
Mixing your colors to give yourself transitions from one to the next. So as you want to go from bright to dark, you're mixing a lot more colors and not worried about, blending to get your mix. You're actually just mixing color. Tips is a tough one because, you're talking about a concept that requires you to be good at sketching your values on the model. You have to have a good understanding of where light would fall. We were just talking about that. Let me get done with this green on the shield here, and we'll pull those same models back out. We have done some models where we've not blended anything. There is a nuance to it, like I said, where you need to understand exactly where brightness and darkness would go, and then build to it, because you can't really shift it as easily when you're cell shading. Oh, it's hard to say fast. I don't like that term. Cell shading comes because you're talking about painting each cell of an animation sequence, and those individual frames of film are called cells, CEL. And so it's not really what we're doing, right? Because you're not overlaying transparent layers one right over the next. You're really just trying to transition color to color without blending. These are some people that do it fantastically in the Gundam world, so that they can give that kind of cel-shaded animation feel to their models. But yeah, give me just a second. these guys, I'm trying to determine where I want gold as I'm painting the gold. So it winds up taking me about 18 million years to figure this out. So one model is going to take the entire stream.
You did the, you're going to do that just the trim in gold.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, these guys originally were going to be Sanguinary Guard.
Right.
And so they were going to be gold completely.
And because you reprimed them.
And then I reprimed them because they are no longer Sanguinary Guard. They are Praetorian Guard. Because I didn't realize that my special detachment for Blood Angels didn't give me the ability to use Sanguinary Guard, because they took Sanguinary Guard and made them into, whatever they call it, Legends or whatever they call that. They're in the didn't make the book. And so a lot of the things, the detachments in the book don't allow you to use the units that are in the other one. And I was like, well, that sucks.
Frigid Phoenix says, have to say, Jason's palette is entirely too clean. Need to add some more layers. I just cleaned it. I have a whole rotating system. Somebody stole my bucket.
They took it to put rainwater in.
I know, but I mean priorities, right? I had a system in place.
Well, they have more buckets, and it's literally right outside the front door.
It's so far away.
And there's one on your way back to your desk. It's in the courtyard here.
Oh!
Do I have to call you out every time? Is that what we've become?
I don't like it.
You could just do these things.
I will. It needs a touch of bronze, Jason.
Hey, I need you to not listen to Chris as much as you've been listening
Jason,
to Chris.
I would think that this non-metallic metal workup could use a touch of bronze. Just a drop, just for the spiritual experience. That's what I labeled it. Add a touch of bronze to every workup you would ever use if you would like to be more connected to your paint. That is what I say to you, everybody. If you don't have... I know, like, you can make a mix, you can do all that, but if you're just not feeling the mix, just add a touch of bronze. That's all it takes.
Chat.
You'll get spiritually inclined to paint more with that touch of bronze than to not paint at all. So,
Chat.
There's science behind that. No, Jason, no. It's a good thing.
Don't do this.
Touch of bronze.
Please stop listening to
A
this,
touch
man.
of bronze. That's the name of my fragrance I'm developing with
That's
Monument, by the way.
like,
a touch of bronze.
I'm sitting here thinking that it sounds like a perfume.
Do you smell like hot dogs while you're eating on stream? A touch of bronze. Eat the bronze. False paint liquor. Banned. Fired.
I don't know what to do.
Don't
here,
eat the paint.
Chat. I try, chat. Okay, so we want to talk about cell shading.
Yes.
So, two examples that we have on the table here are, we were talking about Mashik's version of how he sets up his non-metallic metal. And while this is technically this is done at such a, what would I call it, such a fine resolution that this may not do what you want it to do. Zoom in close again on this.
Yeah.
He's done such a fine resolution. Look at the amount of small lines and bands of color he's done to give this gradient setup of the shine of the axe, right? Technically, this is using what people are referring to when they say cell shading, right? Because it's just blocks of color. You're not blending anything. But if you do it at such a fine resolution like this, you may lose some of the, I'll call it cartoonishness of cell shading, but I don't mean funny cartoon. I don't mean like Roadrunner slapstick. I mean that it just gives it that feel of a cartoon, of animation, right? Whereas when you look at my coloring of Thanos here, I haven't used that same level of resolution because I want this to feel more like the cartoon style of coloring, where you really only have 3 or 4 colors that you're using to get everything done. So that's what this is, right? Is that everything's done with 3 or 4 colors. There's no blending. You still get the idea of non-metallic metal. The gold is gold. The superhero shiny cloth on him is jade. The purple, right? The glowy eyes, all of that, right? So this is the same type of thing. This is done in a more comical or more traditional comic book style of cell shading, where my colors are more blocky, less resolution, more tuned for that vibe.
Okay, so
I don't know who was asking that. But.
Yeah, what are some tips painting like this? Like, if you had to give me some bullet points on how would I approach painting like this?
Again, for me, it's painting from the shadows. So I put the shadow color on just about everything. and then I block in my mid-tone the same way I would anyway. I'm just using very deliberate strokes and very opaque color. You're never using a thin color so that it gives you that hint of blending. You're literally using opaque colors over opaque colors. If you use thin colors, you'll lose this because they will start to give you a blended transition, and it'll look too soft. What you're trying to do is create a contrast layer to layer, color to color, so that you can see the difference between my dark brown here, right, and the yellow ochre, and between the yellow ochre and the ivory, right, or the pale yellow that I've used. Right, and I think that's the only 3 colors I'm using here. No, I've used another color. I've mixed the yellow ochre and the ivory to get this secondary color on the armor in some places, right? So you can see the bands of color. Each one creates its own version of contrast. So that is more of a traditional cell shade mentality where those lines and those bands of color are meant to be opaque. You don't use thin coats. You don't do glazing, none of that, because you want the colors to stand completely apart, and then when you zoom out, you get the blend, because your eye starts to not see the trend. You know, when you look at these from that level, they look very similar in their coloring.
Yeah.
Right? Mine's better, but, you know.
Hey. I love bronze. What can I say? We make a great bronze color. I know, but I do not get a commission for every bottle of bronze sold, but maybe I should re-enter my contract here of work that maybe
There's
I
no
do.
Contracts.
How could I get 1% of bronze sales?
Go work someplace else that makes bronze.
Jason, but what about us? What about us?
Your extra credit is getting to hang with me for 2 hours a day.
That's my extra credit?
That's your bonus.
Or is that my purgatory?
That's your bonus.
No. 1 second.
See what I have to put up with, chat?
I don't think it's my purgatory.
This is the credit I get.
I think it's your purgatory, to be honest. Let's face it.
Silver Shield, do we love Brom? Brom the artist? Or Brom's the ice cream shop? I think Brom is B-R-O-M.
Or Brom, as in from League of Legends.
But if you're talking about the artist, yeah, Brom does great fantasy work. Gerald, I think is his name. From Atlanta, I think. Lives here in the States.
Don't stoke the flames, Chris. You might find out you have no contract at the end. That's true, Stan.
He has no contract.
I don't have a contract.
He's not going to just find out. He doesn't have one.
I think that I should get 1% of every bronze sale henceforth.
Okay, good. Keep thinking that.
I think that this should be a
You know what I will do for you, Chris? Here's what I'll do for you.
No, don't do anything for me.
Here's what I would do. This is what we're going to do because you asked for it, so you can't say no.
Okay.
This is how this is going to work.
Perfect.
Chat, you were here. Witness.
Uh-oh.
Witness my decision-making prowess.
No.
This is how we take care of our people, chat. He wants 1% of every... I'll do you better. I will give you 2% of every bottle of bronze sold, right?
Okay.
I'm going to have to ask you to take a pay deduction currently.
Okay, I see.
And then I will make up the pay deduction with 2%
bronze sales.
Bronze sales.
Wait a minute. No, you know what?
Your pay deduction is going to be, we're not going to tell you this, but your pay deduction will be factored on whatever 2% of bronze sales is, plus a handling fee.
Okay, so you're telling me that I'm going to make even, but we're going to sell a shootload more bronze.
Well, you're going to make less because the handling fee.
I'm going to make less. I know. I'm going to make less, but our
you're
bronze
make less
because
of the handling fee because this is going to take extra admin to make happen because we now have to track these numbers.
I would like 100% of bronze sales.
Okay, well, then I'm going to have to ask you to pay us to work here. You're now
Wait
charged.
a minute. You haven't been getting my checks?
You're now going to face a charge to be part of the monument team.
You guys don't pay your membership fees? Wait a minute. Jen said there was a membership fee.
Wait, whoa. Jen didn't.
That's false. None of this is true.
Sorry, Jen.
I
forgot about that special conversation with Christopher.
That's my membership fees at work.
Jason, I'm starting to see why Monument is so successful.
Maybe.
Hey, these are the thinking creative business practices that we have to do as a small business in America.
Game Delay says wants 1% of bronze and 1% of feta chili. I stand by my 1% of feta chili, by the way. No, I'm not getting greedy. That was my brainchild. And it wasn't even my brainchild. It was Jason's, but I planted that seed.
I beg to differ.
I take full responsibility for planting your feta chili willy, Jimmy Jumbo, Dilly, feta wink wink, nudge nudge.
Slick Willies.
Slick.
Hear me out. Slick Willies.
Yes, he is the owner. JV Django says Jason's the owner of Monument Hobbies. Yes.
That would be me.
He's the owner, and he paints for you.
Jen.
And we commit 2 hours a day for you, chat, because we love you and we want you to give us a try and learn something in the process. So, JV, welcome in. We do this Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Monument Standard Time.
Tadpole, you joined Team Pizza right as I left. I'll get you my dates, but I think my last kill mails from Team Pizza were in March or April of 2013, believe it or not. Short tutorials on YouTube. Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome. Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Tons more. I mean, we do content every day. Today, we haven't done a whole lot, but, you know.
Yeah, those methodologies, they'll come out. We have another one coming out Thursday, but our current plan is essentially every 10-ish days, we get a short done, and pretty soon that'll be a week. So that's right. But those are called our methodologies, which then you can take those methodologies, and we have a bunch on our website.
For
a long time.
5 or 6 years?
Yep. So yes, Perceptron, more are coming.
Tons of learning. We've been doing the stream for coming up on 10 years. We
just released a video today, too, talking about non-metallic metal. So if you guys missed that, check it out.
The spoon video.
It's a really cool.
I've used that spoon and that pencil. That same poon, and that same pencil for
a long time.
Probably 9 years.
It was hard picking which example because you had, I think, 6 bits I recorded on that. And instead of putting them all together, this one summed it up perfectly. So that's why, if you all didn't catch that video we posted today, that link is to that video. Talking about essentially the concepts behind non-metallic metal.
Yeah, hopefully kind of what I like to call a light bulb.
Mm-hmm.
You know, kind of moment level.
Those are our light bulb video clips, essentially, is what I call them.
You know, they're intended to just kind of get the brain juices into an aha state.
Yep.
They don't always click, and don't feel bad if you watch something and it's like, I still don't get it. That's fine.
It hits differently. We get that note all the time where some people are like, okay, now I get it.
Yep.
And that's where a lot of those clips.
I mean, a lot of the people in chat right now have been here for a long time.
Yep.
And I'm sure all of them have their own personal moment where it was like, I watched you for X amount of years before it made sense. And that's not because we changed the way we were doing it. It was just because you got more understanding of your painting and I chose better words for you one day.
That's it. Yeah.
It really is. It's not everybody learns the same way. Not everybody understands things the same way. And there's no problem with that at all. Sometimes it takes a long time for me to find the right combo of phrases to make it make sense. Nothing wrong with that at all. Yes, I do start all my gold on this army from green. I know if you're just walking in, you're like, what in the world is he doing with Blood Angels and yellow green? And what is happening here? Is this old man just lost his mind? I don't know that those two are mutually exclusive, but...
Also, in that link that I just shared, if you go into the description, and this is, I know a lot of you know this, but for everybody new here on YouTube and Twitch, every time I post a YouTube link of our clips, essentially, where I basically take a bunch of streams and mash them into one video. Always check the description. I always put the full VOD link of where it came from in the description. So if you want to see the whole chicken being cooked or the whole owl being painted, check it out.
We don't hide any of the steps here.
And some people, some people ask for that, but then a majority of you are like, well, I miss stream. So you get it every which way you want.
Yeah.
The long version, the short version, you name it. We give you the goods.
Feel free. For the bulk of the stream is not for me to finish models. It's for me to help you find a confidence in whatever you're struggling with. So feel free to ask questions no matter how new you are at painting or how old you are at painting. That always sounds funny to say it that way. No matter how long you've been painting. You guys drive fantastic content here. You know, it makes me think like that's technically supposed to be his real hair.
What is?
The hair. It has hair on the back.
Oh, his hair? Oh, that's
it
definitely
makes you
hair.
think like it's supposed to be hair, but
That's
it's
a face
molded
mask.
right in line. It's actually like a little bit higher than the mask, so it's definitely not his real hair. It's metal.
Oh,
it's part of the helmet. It's just sculpted as hair.
Interesting.
It's very weird. I never really understood these. These are the
It's not a
old.
mask.
These are the old Sanguinary Guard masks, not the Primaris ones.
John, take it easy. Have a good one.
See you, John. You sold your friend you sold your friend tip with green on gold to Fulgrim portrait, and she's amazed how good it works on 2D art. Oh yeah, it's tremendous. Tremendous. It's green as the underlayer for gold is so good. Obviously oranges and warmer colors work really well in small scale too. They just give it a warmth that maybe appeals to people's idea of gold more because it feels more like the idea of rich gold. You know, we have a color called rich gold because of that, because it has a very warm undercurrent of like orange to it.
Game Delay says, a couple weeks ago, Jason talked about painting with a gentle touch. Then Ninjon did a video talking about painting with a gentle touch. I thought I was already gentle, but decided to go even softer. I felt my paint control jump up with a gentle touch.
Yep. Just practicing making sure that you can take that and use it when you need is very good. And it'll slow you down initially. 100% it'll slow you down. Where you'll be like, oh my gosh, I spend more time worrying about, having a gentle touch than actually putting paint on the model. But don't worry about it, because it is such a great tool for you to be able to navigate and keep inside the lines, if nothing else. Forget if you're, never doing freehand. It's like painting around these rivets right now, right? There is a world where the geometry, pop in closer.
Yeah.
Or zoom in. You don't have to pop in. You can just zoom in from that one. Yeah. So on this, you've got these rivets every, 5 millimeters. And as I paint those rivets, they deflect the brush hair, right? That little physical thing standing out there will take the brush hairs and split them and knock them apart. And then that paint gets knocked apart. And now you get paint like on the black part of the shoulder, maybe.
Yeah.
Because I'm painting fast with my normal brush stroke. And now I've hit the rivet and the brush is like, your car hitting a pothole. And that's a problem, right? So slowing down and being able to paint with a very delicate touch will save you from things like that. It will make doing thin lines much easier no matter what it is you're painting. Everything has a need to do like a thin edge highlight. Much easier when you do it with a very delicate touch, just very slowly working the brush to the surface as opposed to just smacking it on the surface.
Pento says, probably a secret, but any new things coming out that you can hint at, like that water effect comment from yesterday?
Not really. I have a lot, but I'm not talking about any of it because you typically won't hear me talk about products until I'm pretty sure I've passed the 90% sure part of wanting to release it, right? So unfortunately, there's not everything's at the 90% right now. There's a lot of stuff that we're working on that not quite there.
Valtteri says, welcome in, first time chat, by the way. I'm kind of new into the hobby. What is the best tip for me?
Welcome.
Oh, that's a good one.
It may sound cliche. My first tip that jumps to my head every time somebody's new. First off, welcome to the hobby. It's a great hobby. I hope you enjoy your time here. That is kind of in line with the first tip. Enjoy your stay. Focus on what I call rule of cool. Don't worry about what people are telling you to do. Do what feels good. It's a hobby. It is not a job until you make it one. It does not have to adhere to any rules. If you like, models of teddy bears playing basketball, guaranteed there's a 3D print for you. You don't have to paint Space Marines all the time. Find whatever jazzes you and stick to it, right? Like, literally, that's my biggest thing. Because as you start out, you're going to be inundated with so many things to learn. There's going to be information from every corner of the internet. Some of it will conflict with itself. Some of it won't make any sense to you. Some of it uses jargon that makes no sense. So all in all, stick to what feels good. And to what you think is cool. So if you pick up a model and you think that model's cool, keep painting on it, because you will always do better with something you're having fun or excited about than trying to have me tell you what to do. Pick up a Space Marine and paint it like this. This will be the greatest thing ever. Well, it won't if you don't like Space Marines, and you'll hate it the whole time. You won't do well. You won't learn anything. So stick to things you like. Doesn't matter what that thing is. Doesn't matter if anybody plays that game. Doesn't matter if you just found the miniature in the dollar store, right? I've had a lot of people, I've even done it on stream, painted the little dollar store toy soldiers, the little green men, right? They work great. So, it depends on how you want to attack it. Are you coming to the hobby because you love to play games and you want to be able to get armies done and play with your friends? Then attack it in a very loose and casual nature of painting your army up, getting base coats on it, learning to stay inside the lines, all that fundamental paint stuff. And then figure out where you want to go. We talked about it yesterday. There's a ton of forks in the road along this journey of painting, and each one of them is really just a decision on what kind of fun do you want to have. None of them should be painful. All of them should lead you to a path of keeping this a fun and exciting hobby that makes you want to sit down and do it, and when you're done doing it, you feel like you're better for having spent that time doing so. If you ever find yourself getting to a point where you sit down to paint a model, and when you're done, you're more frustrated than you began, take a breather. Remember why you're here. Have some fun, right? That's what it should be. We don't pick the models that we think everybody wants to see on here. We pick them out. How do we pick models, Chris?
The ones that are cool.
The ones that I want to paint, right?
The ones that
I want to paint. So Chris will come in and go, "What are you excited about?" And I'll be like, "That." And he'll be like, "Really?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's going to be cool." And he'll be like, "Okay." And he may not believe it, but as soon as he sees me painting it and getting jazzed about it, he's like, "I get it." Because it's the energy you'll find for the things you like that will really guide you through your hobbies. And this is true of every hobby you have, cooking, whatever it is. If you spend your time learning to cook with recipes you don't even like the way they taste at the end, then why are you cooking?
Oh, that's a good way of putting that.
Right? Just cook what you love to eat.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the way we should say that. That's my biggest thing. And I know that doesn't help with regards to how do I put paint on the model, but that's what we do this show for every day. You can come back here. My next thing that you should do is join our show every day.
Yeah.
There's the sales part of it. Come and join with us. We make our own paint, our own brushes and all of that, and then we show you how to put it into action on models on the table. Everything from big dreadnoughts and, Space Marines to lifestyle models. We just got done painting a really cool lifestyle model, which is this female surfer girl. So we paint a little bit of everything on the channel. So you'll always have something that'll be fun to learn and see. And I try to relate to people in a way that is more everyman mentality.
Okay.
So that I don't focus on big, crazy hobby words and nonsense like that. We just talk about how to paint.
Cool.
Django, thank you. Husker Du. By the way, great name. I don't know if that's with the band or what was the Husker Du? I can't remember what in mythology or in history that was, but great old punk band. Frustrated after painting? No, never, says Sharkarino. I see you. Trust me, there's times where I sit down to paint and it's just not the day I should have painted. We did a video of it that Chris posted up where sometimes I expect my painting to do something for me that a hobby should never have to do, which is make you happy when you're not happy.
Yep.
Right? Your hobby's not there to take the pain away. Your hobby's there to be a great place to go, right? To have you stop thinking about the pain.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a big thing too. A lot of times I will be like, I just am sick of this day. I'm going to go paint. But it's the wrong mentality to go into the paint studio with.
I would say if you're new to the hobby like I did, I wish I had art tools before I messed around with a bunch of other stuff.
Game delay, art elitist craze. If you're not here using the correct artist terms, we will not allow you to stay.
That's right.
And other words I've never spoken, ever. Struggling knowing how often I should wet your brush. Any tips? P.S. Just got my first parochial paints and loving them. Awesome. How often you should wet your brush. So if you watch me paint here, I don't know. It's kind of a how long is a piece of string because it depends on what and how you're painting it each time. If I'm painting with very thin paint, like this base coating that we're doing here, we have a few more minutes. So
yeah,
this base coating that we're doing here, I come over, I get a little bit of water on my brush, and then I come over to my green, right? And then I always take a little bit off, or not always, but most of the time I take a little bit off so I don't have a big droplet of paint on my brush, because having a big droplet of paint means it's going to put a dollop of color down someplace. And so then I come over and I'll paint, and I'll paint until the paint on the brush is not flowing off on the model on a consistent basis and isn't as opaque as I want it or translucent as I want it, right? So if I start noticing that there's more red showing through the color while I'm painting, then I know I've used up all of the available good paint on the brush. There's still color on the brush, but it isn't going to do what I need it to do, which is cover the red right now, right? I'm looking for opaque green to cover the red, and I'm doing it in one coat, right? And so when it's getting there, right? So a little bit further, and it's going to not cover the red as much as I want anymore. Like now. And now I'm like, okay, well, now it's showing too much red through. That's not what I want. So I go rinse my brush in the cup again, wipe it off on the paper towel, put it back in the paint. So I re-wet my brush every time the paint stops doing what I want it to do.
Yeah.
That's to get the old paint off and to get my moisture on the brush set to the right level to be able to create the effect I want on the brush. I'm never, and I don't teach people to thin their paint on the palette. You shouldn't be doing that. Use your brush to control the amount of dilution of the paint by how much water you leave on your brush after you clean it. So when that becomes part of the puzzle, you're cleaning your brush or wetting your brush, as you mentioned, all the time. Every time you're done painting, and I mean done painting with a color, you're going to run out of color every time, and you're either going to go get more color. If you feel like it's time to go get more color off your palette, re-wet your brush. And then dry your brush to the level you need to make the paint work the way you want it. If you're glazing, you'll leave more wetness on the brush. If you're going for opacity and coverage like I am now, you'll take more wetness off the brush and have it be a little bit more dry, but never super dry, because remember, the paint won't come off of the brush very well and you'll get streaky painting. So be careful with that. Does that make sense? Does that help?
Yeah. To double down on what Chris said, I found it considerably easier to glaze and edge highlight with your paints. The fact that the paint is already thinned to the right point makes painting so much smooth and enjoyable.
The goal with my paints, I say my paints, with Pro Acryl, first time I've ever said my paints. The goal with Pro Acryl is to have a paint that just works right out of the bottle for the bulk of what you're going to do. You'll thin it to glaze with. We always say that the only reason you want to thin our paints is to lower its opacity for glazing or filters, different effects you may be doing, layering, blending, and then for things like airbrush, where the tool requires it to be thinner. But we don't even thin too much inside the airbrush. And that's the case. I don't do anything but moisture on the brush with our paints because they're not overly thick. We have more pigment than just about all of our competition in our paints. And yet our paint feels lighter. I say lighter rather than thinner, but it's the same term that you're using, right? It feels more lightweight. It just works. It acts like you want paint to work right out of the bottle. Everybody else has to make their paint thicker to put as much pigment as we have in it because they don't make real art paint. And with us, our paint doesn't have to be thick in order to give you tremendous amounts of vibrancy in the color and opacity. That's really the key. That's the magic in Pro Acryl. You've hit it. It's just meant to work and feel good painting with. It blends better for people that don't even know how to blend. We get people all the time, they're like, I don't even know. I didn't change anything about my painting except start using your paints, and my models just look and feel better. And that was the key for me. Yep. Because I'm a lazy painter. I say it all the time. That's the reality is I'm lazy. I never want to have to really work hard on the palette to make the paint usable. It seems silly to me. So, there you go.
Jason?
Sir, yes, sir. Oh, you're going to tell me we're done?
It's about that time. how do we catch this following thing from Discord?
So I'm going to stay and paint in the Discord channel. And Chris is going to set it up, whether he knows it or not.
I am going to set it up.
So we're about to quit, and then we will get logged back in on the Discord and be in the voice channel. So if you'd like to carry on, Chris will have to show us if there'll be enough visual in there with the cameras and stuff. I think so.
Honestly, I'm gonna...
But I'm really going to treat it more like it's a voice channel.
Yeah, hear me out. Yes.
That was interesting, Chris. Hear me out.
I'll have to log into your Discord, Jason.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. I'm just going to do it as a virtual camera. I should be able to do it, and then I'll be able to...
we can log in. Oh, I guess we can log in as anybody, but it's probably better to log in as me.
Yes. Preferably, because I'll be using my Discord.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, yeah.
So go to Hobby and Hang 1.
And this is, again, I'm typing that prompt. I know I just did all the links, but here again is the Discord.
Yeah, we're going to be in Hobby and Hang 1. We're going to try this for the first time, see how many people come in. It's going to be a deal where everybody can talk in Discord. So, it'll just be more casual. I'm not planning on teaching, but I want to just hang out and be casual and have fun and paint. I'm going to continue doing what we're doing here. There's no need to do all of the yellow trim on stream. But that's what I'm going to be doing.
Yeah.
And Chris is going to rig it to where the cam that you see here, this whole frame, is going to be our virtual cam going over there.
Yeah,
so this is what
it will be this.
Yeah. So you'll be able to click on my cam to check out what I'm doing. So you're lame at Discord, but you're going to try. It's not that hard. You just have to, I think, double click on the channel to go into it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Most other brands on the market for model paints don't like to blend well with each other, so most people don't think they're as good as they are, but when they switch to tools that work, they see the benefits of their effort in learning to paint. 100%. Yeah, exactly, Anakin. That's the whole thing we teach, is that the bulk of paints in the hobby world are made to be fantastic colors and good opacity, and they do very well at that, but when you go to mix them, they don't hold up. Because they're not made to be artist paints, they're made to be house paints. And I say house paints because that's the world that comes from. It's not a slight. It's just that they do very well at what they're good for. They're just not meant for what we need them to do as artists in the hobby, as real art, right? Ozzy, awesome. You love your shop. You have the best prices in your country. Most shops make a big margin of Pro Acrylic paints. Where are you at, Ozzy? And yes, as you see us opening up our offices and stores across the world, we will be helping to set the expectation. Those same stores will hopefully be able to bring their prices down when they start buying direct from us. Brent, have a great evening yourself. But yeah, thank you. We are done. We usually close shop here at 4 o'clock. For those of you that are joining us for the first time, welcome, by the way. We stream Monday through Friday from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Monument Standard Time here in Phoenix, Arizona from HQ. We would love to see you back, so please bookmark us, follow us, subscribe to us over on YouTube. We stream to both platforms simultaneously, and then the show goes into the live tab on YouTube so you can catch up on anything you missed, go back to it to see things we did, hear bad jokes for the second or third time. Ozzy in Poland, awesome. I was just over in Poland at Contrast Festival. Nice. But yeah, so check out our links. Make sure to check the Discord link because, like I said, we're going to start this thing. We're going to see how it goes. A lot of people have asked us to do some sort of a hobby hangout where it's just a casual way for them to hang out with friends and paint. So we're going to try that. We'll do some different times for Europe as well, coming up soon as we find more people that are interested. But go click on all the links, do all the things, and make sure to check in with us again tomorrow. Hang out if you would like to go wherever Chris is going to find us a raid. So show some love in the chat we wind up in if you want to continue doing the live feed thing and keep your hobby off into the evening, or if you'd like to join us over on our Discord, we'll see you over there in, I don't know, 10 or 15 minutes probably?
I think 15 minutes.
Like 15 to 30 minutes. Give us some time to get the computer stuff worked away, but we'll be there.
But
right?
You'll just see Jason's icon in there.
Okay, there you go.
Cool.
All right, gang. Have a great evening. We'll see you later.